Hello everyone, it's Caleb Hale here from the Season of Drought team, and today I have joined with me Eric Hollenbeck, a director out of New York. And today we are talking about a couple of projects that he has done in the past, as well as the venture into the Season of Drought project. You may know him from certain projects such as Imperium, Agent Gang, Cabrini, McVeigh, and most recently, the film Drought. Is that correct?
It's some of the resume there.
How's it over there?
Oh, it's good. Beautiful day in upstate New York.
Awesome. Throughout this week, I've been kind of dealing with the team, getting a lot of interviews for the documentary, as you know already. I did kind of want to ask you about some of the films that you worked on.
I've come from a background in physical production and spent years helping others tell stories. And this story I knew I had to tell it myself. And I was, honored to be presented with this opportunity to tell such a powerful story. These projects were born out of a need to confront how easy it is to look away. Devin, our central character, isn't a symbol. She's a human being with a full emotional life that no one sees. The core question that we hope resonates with people is, what does it take for someone to care? That's a big part of this. Hopefully the caring turns into action. I think about, other films as visual references, a movie like The Florida Project, Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, 1001 are good visual influences for the Season of Drought. Looking at still photography from photographers like Gordon Parks or Mary Ellen Mark are visual references for the film. I think it was brilliant with the Florida Project because you're just like alongside these kids living out of a hotel. The juxtaposition of such like dismal circumstances and this like bright, like pink and purple, hotel, and then knowing that it's like right down the street from supposedly the happiest place on earth, Disney World. Just the layers of that film certainly resonate.
One thing I do know, when they were making the film, like the still where it's like the two girls, they're sitting down in the parking lot staring at the rainbow. That wasn't like a CGI thing, that was actually happening. And then they called all of the cast and crew to get there, enough bare bones. We need the girls. I know they just got off, but we need the girls back. And they rushed back to the motel and got that shot. I was like, man, there's not a lot of moments like that in film where you can kind of get literally those double rainbows. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of quote unquote double rainbows that happen on this film, being that some of the places we may end up filming will be places where there were encampments as well.
I remember working on this movie, The Crazies, way back in the day. I was just a production assistant, and we were filming out in rural Iowa. We were getting all this B-roll stuff, and there was this old woman coming up over the hill. She had her bathrobe on and her hair curlers, and she was driving her John Deere tractor over the hill, and dust was kicking up. And I was like, oh, we gotta film this woman on her tractor. This is and then ended up making it in the movie, which was so cool. Because again, that was early in my career. I'm like, oh, look at that. Sometimes these beautiful moments that happen out of nowhere. Again, you can always plan so much, but you'd be surprised at what you get. This other movie was called Miss Meadows, and we shot in Cleveland, Ohio. It was basically Mary Poppins, vigilante type of movie played by Katie Holmes. And there was gonna be all this VFX CGI stuff, as if she's walking down the street and just imagine basically cartoon birds or wildlife in this Mary Poppins type of world. I was writing the monitors with the director. One of the PAs was in a deep lockup of where Katie was starting from to walk down the sidewalk. Is there's two deer that are coming up down the street, and we were about to yell cut because she made it as far as we wanted her to go down the sidewalk. I go, no, keep rolling, because we're on Steadicam. And all of a sudden, these two deer just walked right behind Katie's character, the Miss Meadows, and then kind of circled back around. And we have this who knows what it would have cost to create these deer, wow. And in terms of in VFX or comp those into the scene. But everybody was so ecstatic because we kept rolling cameras on it. So
Something I kind of wanted to leave off on, I did want to kind of get a little bit more insight about what this project kind of means to you. You talked to me about New York and your relation to seeing stuff down there, but also places you visited. What does it mean for you that Season of Drought is telling a story like this?
Nearby in Elmira, New York, which is 20 minutes away, a city that is in the top 25 for opioid abuse. There's been a lot of encampments that they've been continuing to sweep out under bridges and near the highways. We live in a time where homelessness, addiction, and trauma are everywhere. Season of Drought puts a human face to that noise. It's eye-opening to hear the statistics, but our story, it's about a 13-year-old girl named Devin trying to survive a world that's constantly fails her. To be a part of a film that doesn't offer easy answers is powerful, and I think that's intentional through this script. This can't just be a message movie, it's a mirror. If watching it makes you feel uncomfortable, good, because it should. It's great that you're working on the documentary side of things and doing that research and putting faces to this epidemic around our country. We talked about other forms of entertainment and other films, and these are tough stories to tell. My hope is the Season of Drought sparks conversation, empathy, and maybe even action. Silences complicity, and stories like Devin's deserve to be seen and heard and remembered. Those are some big things that kind of drew me into the story, is how impactful it could potentially be.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for spending your morning with us. We know you have a busy schedule, so we thank you for taking your time.
Touch one, teach one, heal one. Homelessness is not an individual problem. It's a global epidemic that needs individual attention. Visit seasonofdrought.com to see how you can help.